Welcome to Lighthouse Pathways, where leadership is a journey. Join your hosts, Dennis and Donald, as they explore the real stories, lessons, and moments that shape authentic leadership. Each episode, we shine a light on the paths leaders take, the lessons learned, the challenges faced, and the growth that happens along the way. Whether you're just stepping into leadership or guiding others through uncharted waters, this is your space to learn, reflect, and grow. Let's navigate the journey together.
You brought up something when you talk about care in leadership. We live in a world that is really dominated by technology.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And it's a double-edged sword. If there's been a number of comprehensive surveys and reports that talk about remote working. And a lot of people, as you started to point out a little bit earlier, they enjoy being able to work from home. But a personal experience is that, yes, I have the opportunity to work from home. That's wonderful. Yet, when I do come into the office, it's a different dynamic. The reason being is because I can actually see people. I can poke people. You get involved in those little conversations that's related to work, but they're actually stimulating conversation to make you think, I didn't think about that. Or what do you think about that? Now, that brings up an element of care because it's showing that I am interested. But there's also another element here that has to be in place related to caring, and that is the ability to listen. Without listening, you really don't know what's going on the other side because it's a one-way conversation. You need to do it this way. Woo, 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 woo. Yet, if you listened, you would find that the other person has a different perspective, and you could potentially get to that wow moment of, I didn't think about that. What do you think, Dennis?
Well, you bring up some good points. And to listen doesn't mean I'm listening for an opportunity to tell you what I'm already going to tell you. It makes you vulnerable to actually care, to actually feel and hear the person's words that they're saying, right? Could be situations that they have at home and they trust you enough to, as their manager or as their leader, to provide or to trust you with personal things that they're going through that may affect their day. They don't have to, right? The world is left at the door when you come into work or when you log into that meeting via Zoom or Teams or whatever platform is out there. We leave that world outside. But for someone to trust you enough to provide you with some things that they're going through, and it could be anything. It could be divorce, it could be financial, it could be health, it could be children, it could be parents. I mean, it's the world. So to actually hear what they're saying, it could be just a conversation, but to actually hear what the meaning behind it, to hear it, to say, oh, maybe this person might need some more PTO. Is there anything that I can do work-wise to help them out? Are they overwhelmed, balancing home life? Maybe their parents are senior and they're thinking about the options of putting them in was it a nursing home? What's the terms for that now? I don't even remember what the new
All
term.
I'm saying right at this moment, Dennis, you're scaring me. You're scaring me big time.
um,
Now,
but
but
to
your
hear
point,
somebody, to listen to somebody, to actually
right?
interpret what they're saying is some, and then they'll trust you. Hey, he heard me and saying, Dennis, you heard me when I said this to offer me um, a work from home where I can slide my day, work more later in the evening instead of so early in the morning where I have to drop my kids off at school.
True.
Okay, that's a couple hours or whatever. We have that opportunity. Some places are rigid though, and they don't have that level of um, flexibility.
Right.
But do they still have the ability to care? Yes, I hope so. Oh, I hear you. Have you thought about other family members that can drop your child off at school? Do you, what else is out there that services that are provided that can do that for you? To hear them and understand their needs is still caring for them.
Yeah.
If the rigid, which I don't know who has a time clock anymore to punch in and punch out, but 9 to 5 is really hard to do or hard to manage in today's world.
It's hard. It's a challenge, to say the least. And I think it's important that we acknowledge that traditional leadership still exists.
It does.
And not everything is the way we are sharing it, in the way that there are going to be environments you don't have the option to
Right.
work remotely
And
or
different
to
doesn't mean wrong. I want to bring that back. It doesn't mean it's a wrong situation. It just means that place of employment is 9 to 5,
yeah.
and we as the leader and subordinate, there's that agreement. You agreed, and as well, you knew this was a 9 to 5 job. You start at 9, you leave at 5. You knew that at the interview. You knew that's the agreement. It's not, hey, yeah, that's fine, and let me start the job. And all of a sudden, the person you hired said, oh, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
That would never work for me in my environment. See, there's no trust, right? Trust is broken at that point.
Okay. Or variation of what you just said. It may not be broken, but it's not solid.
Right.
There's gaps.
So how do
Uh,
we do that?
Very good. And quite honestly, that's one of the things that we want to explore, not only in this program, but
Right.
in the programs yet to come. And we might be, not might be, we are planning to have other guests
Right.
that will be with us, that will be talking more specifically about strategies,
Yeah.
steps that you will be able to take. Our hope of this podcast is to offer practical, straightforward suggestions, strategies, tactics that's going to improve the relationship, not only of leadership, but your work relationship. Uh, it's going to improve. And
Yeah.
if you'll trust us and stay with us, you'll find that that's going to be true.
Right.
Still
So
coming, Dennis, you were
the
going to say.
purpose, I was saying that the purpose of this show is not that we're experts in it, is that we have had some experiences and we have some perspectives, and that we hope that we can help somebody that is going through this at their own time and may be able to walk away with a piece of information or some perspective like, oh, I didn't think of that, or I tried that, Dennis, you're full of crap, it doesn't work. Good. At least you're trying to make your work environment a better and more cohesive and more trusting work environment, as we're talking about here today. um, Try. If you stop trying, then nothing's going to go the way that the company wants it or that you want it or even the subordinate wants it. And if you're the subordinate, look at yourself and say, hey, how can I, what part of this do I own? Did I did my manager lose trust in me because of this, and not only did I lose trust in them because of that. We all have a piece of ownership in this.
Yeah.
And it's a relationship. It's a give and take. It's not just one sided, like you were saying earlier.
Yep.
I,
Well, something else that you brought up, I think, is very important. And again, if you just happen to join us, we're talking about leadership and some of the components and some of the dynamics that go along that have both a positive and potentially a negative impact upon the leadership process. One of the things I wanted to bring up, and you made me think about it, Dennis, is that uh, you might be a leader and there's somebody that you're working with, but that person potentially is a leader to somebody else. And that person is a leader to somebody else. So it goes back that leadership is not defined, which I have mentioned before, by a title. It's
it's
not.
not. In my mind, while you were talking about that, I was thinking, are you thinking leadership or supervisor?
Is
Because
there a
we all
difference?
have well,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
because just because you're a supervisor doesn't mean you're a leader.
Why would you
You
say
could
that?
just,
Well, wait a minute, Dennis.
I'm peeling that
Wait
onion,
a
aren't I?
minute.
I'm just,
What
uh,
help me
I,
to understand that. Is not a
because
supervisor
you are
potentially
put in a leadership position, but you may not be comfortable in it. You may not,
all right? I'll give you that.
leadership comes with difficult conversations, maybe behavioral adjustments, having those conversations of where trust has been broken. Donald,
Hmm.
um, you broke my trust and care for, because of, I don't think you listened to me when I was actually telling you something really important, something that was going on in my life. With my parents, they're in their senior years and they're going through some really hard times, and I needed that day off, and you didn't hear me. I don't trust that when I need a day off that I'll be able to take it. Even if I'm using my PTO, you say no. I need you here. PTO is
Hmm.
scheduled out 3 months in advance. You can't just say tomorrow I'm going to call out. You know, I feel like you don't care about me. So that doesn't that leadership and being a leader different. Leadership
Well,
position and supervisor is not being just a leader. A leader is someone that can do that and is able um, to bridge and really look at the team dynamics and their development and what they need and trying to find what is best for the team and that individual as needed. It's not just about management. Management is the numbers, right? I need this many heads to do this job. I need, we're going to generate this many hours or this much revenue. That's management, watching the clock and all those things. But leadership is the people.
mm,
It's not. It's not the corporate side of numbers. It's
okay,
people.
okay. Well, full disclosure, I disagree with this man.
It's because I'm bald.
Well, I didn't say that. But the reason, and again, uh, that's the beauty of what we're striving to do, different perspectives. I understand because I listened. It doesn't mean that I have to agree.
It's
It
true.
just means that I listened.
That's
And
right.
that helps me to form a baseline of another person's perspective. And from there, I can inject this is how I perceive it.
And you may
And
not have any answer. You might not have any authority to to help.